I came here a complete skeptic. I didn't really know what to expect from past life regression, as I haven't been one to really dabble in that in my life. I laid on the table and the first thing I said was, I'm a skeptic and I don't know if anything's going to happen. And Orly smiles and laughs and put you at ease, and on the table I went. I found out that I was unable to spell the place I was living, but ultimately I was able to figure out that I was living in Iran. Roughly sometime around, I think it was 1400 and something. I don't even know if it's called that then, probably not. I was a 5-year-old girl, and I believe I was raped at that age based on the emotions and the feelings I felt. I, at one point, could not feel my arms, as if they were I was being pinned down, my whole body was being pinned down, but specifically I started to cry, I believe, actually, because I couldn't breathe, my arms hurt, like, that feeling of they're there, but they're not there. I don't know how to explain it. And so basically we progressed from there, and then we found that I was, at 14, married off to a man of royalty. Call him a prince, call him a jerk, whatever you want to call him. And I proceeded to have this life as his lover, yet not his wife, because he was of royal blood. So he abused me and tortured me and ultimately deeply loved me. I ultimately committed suicide in his courtyard, and he had to live with the pain of my loss. I was a housekeeper, but I was also obviously his favorite servant. So I had the luxury of bathing him and having all of his attention that I don't think necessarily the servant wanted. I find it ironic because my career, my chosen career, has been one in which that's hospitality based. I've done special events and that sort of environment to serve people, to take care of people, and ultimately it makes me happy. And the interesting thing is, obviously, back in 1400 it was making me happy then too. I died from a poison that I had given to myself, apparently, in my loneliness and in my sorrow. And the relief that I felt upon changing to that next position was quite fascinating, meeting, I suppose, my soul group. I saw my brother, one of my brothers was actually my dad in this past life in Iran. One of my closest friends was my mother. My mother was actually one of the servants serving beside me, which actually I think she was probably a source of support, which would make sense. One of my closest friends was in sort of competition for my husband. Well, it was my husband for the main the master. My other friend, my other girlfriend, friend who's a girl, who's, one of my best friends from being about 5 years old. At 5 years old, she raped me in that life. So it's really quite fascinating. It really makes you step back and say, wow, these people, it's just a shell. It's just, this time this is the way they look, and next time you have no clue what they're going to be. But you're going to know because you do feel them. And that's what I knew instantly, is the feeling of these people. All the people that I would have thought came there, that would have been a part of my spiritual and soul group, were there. And I can look at them now and I can kind of go, wow, I kind of get why you are the way you are now. And I think, well, I know across the board, if I can utilize these tools and put them into my daily life, then I can ultimately, I don't know, work the plan that I was ultimately here for. So I guess as long as you kind of realize that all these things add up to the final, well, this time, it's not final because there's a next time, I suppose. So from this time, I can tell you that from Iran and to now, to wherever I'm going, ultimately, it's a very similar path, and there are lessons that I need to learn, and there's lessons that were very obvious to me during my regression that made me realize that this isn't the first time this has happened, and it's definitely not a one-off. So I should probably start figuring this out, or I'm just going to be doing this indefinitely. So yeah, so pretty amazing experience. I didn't feel like quite the same person when I woke up. I literally felt absolutely like I had just come back into my body, to be honest. I was fully there the whole time, or so I thought. And I think that's probably the misconception, is that you think you are in control, but you're not in control of what's coming into your brain. I suppose what you're in control of is actually what you say versus what you don't say. But overall, it was a very enlightening and truly fascinating experience, and one that I think will truly help my life, my family, and my career. So I highly recommend it, and if you're like me and you think it's BS, take a second look.